this is obviously not the usual kind of video that I make, but I've been to a few events this year, and this is something that really stands out to me and really bugs me. How many men show up to somewhere formal in their brand new suit, $300 shirts, and their slick shoes and all the accessories, and their sloppy, sideways tie knots? All right? Your tie is the centerpiece of your suit. It's the eye catcher. It literally ties your suit together, and you should do it the respect it deserves by tying it well. And this isn't just like a millennial problem. I notice this with grown men, professionals in their 40s and 50s, and I don't understand. How did this happen? So I'm going to show you how to correctly tie your tie, okay? And the first thing I'm going to show you is the only knot you'll ever need, the Windsor knot. Now, you may think you're tying a Windsor, but chances are, if you're not as sloppy and sluggish like I suspect it might be, you're tying like a half Windsor or a 4-in-hand or some shitty knot that you made up because you forgot how to correctly tie the Windsor knot. Okay, so the end with which you do your tying is called the active end. And if you're left-handed or right-handed, you may have that on either side. So just follow along with the active end instructions, and you should be okay. Now, you may notice that your tie, some ties have it, some ties don't, have this diagonal stitch in it somewhere. Okay? Yeah, there it is. I don't know if this is what it's for, but I do know that for me, at least, it works perfectly with every tie that has it for the Windsor knot as the marker where I cross my active end. So, and don't be that asshole that ties his knot way out here. Okay? And, like, looking at it. All right, you need to tie it tight to you. Get a mirror. Jesus. So, take the active end, which usually has the diagonal marking, and you cross it over the other end, nice and tight to you, okay? Over top to the other side. Now, you tuck the active end up through the middle and over to the same side. So we started out here and we finish out here, okay? Now, active end tucks behind the whole knot, all right? Now we come up and over through the center and out to the same side again. We started here, we finished here. And you'll see, if you look here, that you have this sort of structure happening. That you have a wrap once, wrap the other side, and now we're sticking out here. So what we do with this is we wrap it over the front, okay? And if you've ever tied a tie, you know where this is going. You tuck it up through the middle behind everything, and then drop it, dive it down behind the wrap. All right, and don't be afraid to primp your knot, okay? This is you want it to look good. Keep everything nice and straight, you know, make sure it's not creased inside the knot there, because that would make funny lumps on the final product, and you don't want that. So once you get it where you want it, tuck it up to your neck, fold your collar down, boom. And I can already hear it. Irving, that doesn't look any different than the knot that I tie. Right now, it may not, no. But 7 hours into your workday or 5 hours into your wedding reception, your knot's going to look all sluggish and sloppy, and mine is still going to be pert and perfect. All right? And the Windsor knot, like many a good knot, is self-releasing. You just pull it and it unties. It's a beautiful thing. Some of you may be saying, Irving, that's all well and good, but I think bigger is better, and I want the sheer mass of my tie knot to intimidate other tie knots into submission. And I'll tell you, well, then you need a Balthus knot. The interesting thing about the Balthus knot is that it ties laces out, okay? You need your stitching on the back of the tie facing outwards when you begin. And don't worry about the back, all right? Your collar's going to fold down and cover it. You're going to be fine. But there is an extra move in here, so your diagonal line's not going to help you anymore. You may need to just practice it a couple times to figure out how much length you need on the active end to make this knot work. Okay, so laces out, remember. On your active end, in this case, is going to tuck in behind. All right? And again, nice and tight to you, okay? And across the other side. Active end now comes over and through the middle and out to the opposite side. Laces out. Active end over through the middle and out to the opposite side. All right. And now one more time, active end, over through the middle and out to the opposite side. And again, you can already see, right, just look at the structure, that there's so much tie already up here that this is going to be a really, really fat knot. It works really well with wide brim collars. So here we go, wrap around the front, up through the back, through the middle. You know where this is going. Dive through the wrap. All right, don't be afraid to primp. And look how fat it is at the top and how narrow it is at the bottom. Tuck it up to your collar. Fold your collar down. Beautiful, big fat knot. And see, this is not a wide brimmed collar, or wide collar, so you may not be able to tell how fat it actually looks. But a neat thing about the Balthus knot, I'm going to try and give you a side angle here. It's like it's almost standing up, like it's lifting away from you. It's that kind of, I wouldn't be surprised to discover that Donald Trump wears a Balthus knot, okay? It's a power knot. And like the Windsor, the Balthus, self-releasing. Some of you may still be not satisfied. You may think, hey, Irving, I've got no discernible personality. So I need a knot so eye-catching, so outrageous, it practically holds a conversation for me. Well, then you need an Eldredge knot. The Eldredge knot is very strange because the active end is not the wide end. It's the narrow end. And you're not going to have a lot of tie left when you're finished, so you sort of have to measure how much length you want before you get started tying it. And you've got to tie it very tight, okay? So, this is a little tricky. You need basically to put this wide end at the tip of your belt and then start tying. So the active end, the thin end, starts by going over, all right? Wrap behind. Then we're going to come through the middle to the opposite side, okay? Now we're going to wrap the front once, all right, to the opposite side. We're going to come up through the middle and across to the opposite side, but as we do, we stick a finger in there. We want a little space, and I'll show you why. Because now from here, we're going to tuck it behind, all right? And when we come across, we're actually going to go through that loop where our finger is. All right? You actually have to tie it into there. And you got to make sure this is snug. Now, a knot like this is going to take a few tries to practice it before you can actually make one that's wearable. Okay? So you see that this will hold itself at this point. There's quite a few steps here. So if you want to at this point stop, have a smoke, whatever, you know, because it's just about to get weird. So bear with me. So now, this end, we've got it tucked through the loop that we made. Now, we have to take this and tuck it back inside, all right, and out to the same side, like this. Yeah, I know. That's fucked up, right? You may have to do some primping here, all right? So, here we are out to this side, and what we're going to do is we're going to come up and over through the middle, and we're going to stick our finger in the loop that we just made. And then we're going to come around here, all right, and just tuck it around quickly and go back through that loop that we just made. Again, some primping may be necessary. This is a tricky knot. All right. So we're getting close here, all right? We tuck this up neatly where it belongs. We have to take the tail, wrap it behind the actual collar of the tie. Tuck this down to hide all that. All right, and yeah, you have nothing behind here. There's no tail to tuck anywhere. But I'm going to see if I can try and give you a nice close-up of this knot here. Yeah, you see all those layers? The way it's wrapped so neatly? This works best with something, with a simple pattern, or just like a texture, or just a plain tie. Something bright colored. This is probably not the best tie to do it, but you can see all the layering that's in here. And it's just, It's not properly formal. Like you don't wear it to, say, an important business meeting. You wouldn't wear it to like a job interview or a funeral. For fuck's sakes, don't wear it to a funeral. But like, you know, parties, right? Something social, weddings, business casual type gatherings, or if you just want to be the spiffiest guy at the bar, go ahead, do the Eldredge knot. One problem with the Eldredge knot. Ha! It's not self-releasing. You got to untie the whole fucking thing now. So, you know, there's that. But I just also, if you don't know how to do these, find an older, rattier tie like I have. This used to be one of my favorite ties, but it's just gotten old. Because tying and untying your tie is actually what causes it to wear, what causes the stitching to pop and everything. So the more you tie it, the more wear it gets. So practice with something that, you know, is already on its last legs, because some of these, in particular the Eldredge, is going to take several practice runs to get it right. But yeah, that's it for this. Just guys, men, tie your fucking ties, you little slanks. What the fuck is wrong with you? And my man, RichAtArt, has done a commission for me. I'm going to be using it in videos shortly. Check out his Twitter feed. He's a fantastic artist, young man, just talented beyond belief. He's got his PayPal all set up. He may or may not be taking commissions from time to time. So, you know, if you need some sort of artwork, just check out his page, see if it's your style, and yeah, give the boy some work. He needs to pay for supplies. I'll link his Twitter and his PayPal in the description. And yeah, I'll be showcasing his artwork as soon as I get my hands on it. So thank you for watching, everyone, and tie your fucking ties correctly. Cheers. Relevant links to shit I said in the description? Maybe. I'm Irving Twin. Like, subscribe, or don't. It's a free country. At least it used to be.